Greetings, friends. Welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in again today. Today I would like to share such a beautiful, wonderful experiences which I just had the privilege to experience. I was just recently yesterday in Tiruvannamalai, which is South India in Tamil Nadu, and it is the home of my guru. So we had the great privilege to actually take a trip there with my master and experience such a wonderful time there. Now, the beautiful thing about this powerful energy field which we were experiencing with the master there is, first of all, it was a grand celebration which happens during a full moon. So I'll elaborate a little bit more on what that celebration is and what happens during that time, maybe in one of my next videos. But what I wanted to really share with you all today was my feelings of inspiration, the inspiration feelings that I experienced within me and with the life, with people outside of me during that event. So now, when we were there during our trip, first of all, just a little bit about the place where the home of my guru, where my guru was born, is that it is a unbroken lineage of enlightened beings. So forever there has been enlightened beings taking birth again and again, coming down to planet Earth. So it's such a beautiful energy field there. Now, when we happened to be there, we were in an event where there's so many people, thousands and thousands and thousands of people that were present there and that were coming, not just only the natives that were there, but also people from all around the world that were coming in to visit the master and to experience that energy field yesterday. Now, during that time, we had the great privilege to get to speak with some of these people who were coming to see the place for the first time, and many of them who come and do that as a sacred practice every year around. So we get to speak with them, and we got to speak with them and see exactly what their experiences were, how they were feeling, what brought them to that space, and that kind of a thing. Now, when we spoke with many of these people, I can see so beautifully that how the dimension in them that was connected to the master was just an absolutely beautiful opening. It was like a flowering of their own consciousness. I remember speaking to a few people and seeing that for the very first time, there was a program that my master was conducting. It is called the Kalpataru program. It is it's known as a wish fulfilling tree. And it was an all-day program that was going on, and there was thousands and thousands of people that was present there. So getting to speak with some of these people and seeing in their eyes and just seeing in their very being how they were so beautifully able to, how they were expressing for some of them that were there for the first time, they were speaking, and then when they were speaking, I can so beautifully relate with them because I saw that for many of them, for the very first time, there was something new that was awakened. There was a new understanding that happened in them, and that new understanding clearly when they were describing it in their own words with their own expression of emotions, it was nothing more than them saying that I feel myself as a seed of possibility. And immediately I was so happily able to relate with them because I remember going back in my own journey, in my own seeking for the truth, in my own seeking for who am I. Before my Swamiji, my guru, came into my life, I remember being in that lifestyle. I remember questioning myself. I remember questioning life. I remember wanting to know so much of the unknown, so much of unknown dimensions of me. What is life? What is my purpose? How can I achieve something which I don't know about? And what is there to achieve, and so forth. There's so many questions that were there inside of me that I wanted to experience and understand. And when I can say that inside of me, when that feeling, actually it was there inside since I was young, so very young little girl, and it just kind of grew and grew and grew older. So now I remember in year 2009, it was so intense for me, and I wanted to know, it all started out with what is God? What is this purpose of life? And in 2009, that is when my guru came into my life. And during that time, I tell you, this book was introduced into my life. It's known as the Living Enlightenment book. It answered and revealed so much of my questions that was inside of me, that was known to me, and also that was unknown to me. Meaning that there were so many questions I wanted to know about life. What is death? What is the purpose of this human body? How does this human body operate? What is this concept about karma? What is this? What are monks? What do spiritual people do? How to be spiritual? How to be successful in life? What is the purpose of relationships? So forth. And I can tell you that this book has taken me uh, so deeper and deeper in depth, even until today, because when I read it, it's like a new dimension. Even when I read the same subject again, it gives me a different and a deeper understanding with the experience. So the entrance of a master in our life is an independent intelligence, and when the seeking, in my experience, is when we are seeking the truth, and when we are seeking with our very intensity, with our very sincerity, the cosmos itself takes the form of a guru, and it relates to us in an embodied. And for that, it's such a great blessing. And I can see that yesterday during my trip, so many people that were coming in and meeting the master for the first time, they had that flowering. And it was such a beautiful space of inspiration for me even today, because I feel so grateful to have a master in my life. See, the thing is that having a master on planet Earth itself, by itself, is a rare happening. And to have him in a body, meaning a language that we can understand, he's the only scripture alive. So having to experience him in a body and the language that we understand, it is literally a cognitive shift, meaning that we understand that so much of our experiences in our life, I know in my life, so much of the experiences that were happening, it was adding more and more of fear and greed into me. But after meeting the master, after experiencing so much of new understanding, a new opening inside of me, I understood that all my experiences that are being added into me are also there for their awareness, meaning that it added so much of more awareness. And therefore, the reality itself is shifting into a seed of possibility. I am possible, and I am something much more than my fear and my greed. So it is such a great blessing to have a master in our life. And it was just so beautiful to see so many new people experiencing the same shift in their lives now also. And one thing I wanted to introduce to you all in my absolutely favorite book, Living Enlightenment, is when the master said, I remember I used to feel such a burning feeling inside of me and wanting to know so much of my answers to my questions, is I came across a chapter, and it's known as The Intensity is the Unfailing Way. So I'm just going to read a little bit about what the master himself has to say about feeling intense and what intensity is. So here so beautifully Swamiji says, what is intensity? You see, usually we feel a terrible restlessness towards the outer world. I have not done this, I have not done that, and so on. The same restlessness when directed to the inner world is called intensity. You do not know what is happening, you do not know what should be done, but the deep dissatisfaction about what is there in the inner space is what I call intensity. You may be wondering, why am I teaching dissatisfaction? I am supposed to teach satisfaction, right? I tell you, your dissatisfaction, which is now directed towards the outer world, has to turn towards the inner world, and only then it will lead to satisfaction. First thing which needs to happen is not satisfaction, but the turning of direction, the psychological revolution. Restlessness should become intensity. If it is not towards the outer world, if your consciousness is constantly moving towards the outer world, it is called restlessness. If it is moving towards the inner world, it is called intensity. The meaning of intensity is that desperate feeling that something needs to be done immediately to break free from the clutches or to break free in the inner world. Swamiji says, intensity is not emotion. When you are intense, you are part of it. You are one part of maybe emotional, but intensity cannot be called emotion. It is like heat. The part of intensity that melts and comes out can be called emotion. For example, when you integrate yourself with intensity, one part of you melts. Let us say the heart melts. Then that can be called emotion. Along with your heart, your intellect will also melt. Your being will also melt. The side effects of intensity is emotion. Do not bother about what your intensity should be about. Do not bother about towards what. It should become a quality. Anything you do, whether you touch something or somebody or some object, let the intensity be there. Even in that touch, if you are talking, let the intensity be there in your relationships, in your decision, in your memory, in your thinking, in your desires, even in your fears. Be intense without escaping from this moment. That is what I call intensity. Intensity means radiating the energy. So when we have a feeling of something, when we have a deep yearning for something, or when we have a emotion that is just waiting, or that is just being experienced as a dissatisfaction towards something outside, so beautifully we can understand that that feeling of yearning or wanting to know something or understand something can be turned inside as intensity. And intensity, Swamiji explains so beautifully, is the unfailing way. So you're more than welcome to check out this book, Living Enlightenment. It is available for free online. Absolutely check out the entire chapter and see what it would mean for you, and understand how you can relate with it as well in your life. And another thing is that I wanted to share with you all how I came across my master in my life was actually through YouTube. So, you know, absolutely what I will do for you is that I can put in a link where you can also enjoy Swamiji's videos and see what all the beautiful understandings that you can gain from an enlightened master. And enjoy yourself, enlighten yourself, and share the bliss and energy with whatever you want to direct it towards, in a sense of possibility for you, whether you want to manifest it towards the outside world, and also grow consciously inside and allow that flowering to happen in infinite possibilities. So definitely be sure to check out the channel, and feel free to leave any comments, share your experiences, like and subscribe. Thank you so much, and may you all be blissful.